It's an exciting week in FFBE, at least I think so, because we have a new global original unit coming out, as well as a new edition of the Clash of Wills event. So we're going to break down all the news in just a second. Let's start with the big neon important sign here, because this is regarding the new equipment system, and I'm personally very excited for this because then it will just make managing equipment a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about unequipping everybody, because some equipment that you need is on one character and then you have to switch it for a different trial or a different event that requires different units. So now we can have multiple units wearing the same piece of gear because they're in different parties, and I think that's a huge improvement. Now the downside is that it's going to unequip all of our units, so anybody that you have on your friends list that might actually be pretty useful because they have good units and good equipment, if they're not active, they're all going to be naked. So we might need to revamp our friends lists a little bit, and I just want to remind everybody that you can use the FFBE friend mega thread and you can find tons of friends there. I think that a lot of people will be using it once this goes live, so don't forget about that, because the in-game way to find friends is not working, it's not good, so use the internet. Let's take a look at the banner first, and we have our new Neovision unit Skye, and then the Neovision Awakenable C card. And I really like C card, he's really funny in the story. I think that I'm going to be awakening him as soon as I can and use him in whatever I'm able to use him in. So we'll take a look at the actual banner first. It's going to be one of our, do 3 summons and then get the 4th one for free, and we actually only need 10 tickets to do the pity this time, so it's going back to the old system, not the panel system, but the kind of like the celebration system where you get that free summon, and there's going to be a 3% rate on Neovision units, so that looks okay. We can get some C cards from it too. So there's also going to be a special 5th anniversary ticket that you get from this banner, and when you get that, you can spend it on Lapis, on Transcension Pearls, on the NV 10+1 tickets, the 1/10th NV tickets, all that kind of stuff. So it's just a little bit of bonus, and then there's some STMRs as well that we can get that are obviously like jump oriented or attack oriented, that will be for Skye. So taking a look at Skye herself, she looks pretty good. I mean, she's a Dragoon, so she's going to be jumping, and I don't actually have a Dragoon on my account. It makes me really want to pull for her so that I can have a jumper. I think that it's one of the coolest jobs in Final Fantasy, hands down. So she's an attacker in both forms, which is kind of interesting because she also has the True Brave Shift, and then her STMR is going to be an attack accessory, so that's always good, but it also boosts jump attacks, and then also some killers here for dragons and for reapers, which is the Clash of Wills killers that we need. And then the TMR is also very good. So Skye gets a HP, like a damage absorption for wind damage, and then everybody can get some jump attack from this headgear, and that's good as well to have that not on a materia to free up some space. So definitely a very good TMR as well. We'll go more detail into the Indivision card in just a bit when we actually go to that slide. Looking at her standard abilities that they're showing us, at least here, we have Furious Skyfall, which is a damaging ability that's morale based. So we expect this to obviously be super great in Clash of Wills and not as great in not Clash of Wills. And then we have Precursor of the Skies, and this is kind of interesting. It changes her normal attack into a jump, and then it's going to deal wind damage. It's going to give a bunch of jump attack. It's going to give physical killers, and then it's going to give like a mirage effect as well when her HP falls between or below a certain point, and then also the normal attack will hit 2 times. Like, this is really crazy that this is just like static available, and it's kind of weird because normally, like, when you have that regular attack upgrade, it's like a lower version of a different skill, but like this already seems really good, although I haven't seen the potencies on it, so maybe she's going to have another jump skill that also gives her some buffs or something like that. And then otherwise, when we go into the Brave Shift form, we get a wind resistance for Imperil for all enemies, and then it's also going to give you your wind amp for all your abilities, your LB, your magic, and whatever else. So this is, similar to Tifa and to Sephiroth. You get your all-in-one kit, except this is also the Imperil, which is good. It's really good to have an Imperil just on demand like that. Although, I mean, this is probably going to be a cooldown ability, so we'll have to look at that when it comes out. And then Severe Squall is just a self buff for attack and then for your killers. So she's definitely set up to take out this specific Clash of Wills, because this Clash of Wills it's a Reaper and a Dragon boss, and it's weak to wind. So they're really just shoving this in our face. This is the way to easy mode the fight, and that definitely is not doing anything to quell people's fears that the Clash of Wills is going to be a mode that peddles new units to us. And it's definitely concerning that like 2 Clash of Wills in a row come with new units. Like if the next one didn't, and it's just like, okay, well here's the weaknesses, build your own team to try to do this, I think that would actually be kind of cool, because otherwise it really is just they're trying to push these new units. Okay, so we've got Sieghard next. He's gonna become, I mean, he's still a tank in his new form, but he gets some really cool skills. So he has a 4-turn duration and then a 4-turn cooldown, and his new abilities, so he does get a new ability in his base form. It's going to be a damage ability that also increases his taunt. It's going to give some defense and spirit, reduce damage taken, and activate a barrier for himself, so that's all fine. But then he gets Reviving Shield, so this is reduce physical damage dealt by humans, reduce damage and physical and magic damage taken for all allies, and then give everybody a re-raise. So that's definitely a fun ability to have on a tank. It kind of does some roll compression with the healer there, and it allows you to maybe use that to push through certain trials or fights or whatever you want. And then we have this really cool ability called Earth Grunt, and this adds earth element to the physical attack for all enemies. And then that's going to give you, it's also going to give you Earth Resist for all allies. So if you have your 100% Earth Resist and then your enemies are dealing Earth physical damage, you're not going to take any damage. And I think that's kind of a fun solution to tanking. Obviously, you're only using it the once, and who knows how that lasts for, but it's still a very cool ability. We're getting another equipment enhancement event, and normally there's not a lot to talk about here, except that one of the exclusive gear pieces that you get from the milestone reward is the Wandering Knight's Lance, and this is a wind elemental lance that has a pretty high attack stat. I mean, not super high, but it's just high, and then it gets some jump attack boost as well, and then this is going to be able to get a special ability, so attack 60%, equipment attack 50% when you're true dual hand or true double hand. So this is actually looks pretty good compared to what we usually get, and the interesting thing about this is that it might be a spear for Skye. We don't have that confirmed that there's going to be another spear that she can get or whatever, but this definitely looks pretty interesting. So otherwise, it's your typical equipment enhancement event. So here is the Clash of Wills, the dragon from across time. He's coming all the way across. So this is an enemy from another world. Whoa. Resembles a great destroyer from another world that was sealed long ago, the undead dragon Asta. So he is going to reduce defenses and inflict status ailments, and this is important. So he's going to be dispelling status effects, inflicting poison, blah blah blah. But the point is that for this Clash of Wills, you're going to need to raise your resistance to status effects and cure status effects, and that's going to give you morale. So you have to play with the kind of the rules that they're giving you here. But the cool thing is that there's going to be a morale skill that also works with status effects to either prevent them, or then there's another one that cures them. So it's going to be fun even if you don't have all the right units. If you've built like a morale team, then maybe you can get that online and then heal yourself or whatever. So otherwise, they've made some changes. So here's the 2 new morale actions that are going to make you resistant or that are going to cure status effects, and it gives you a kind of a hint of what we're going to see for status effects, I guess. And then if you want to put on all the challenges for Clash of Wills, they reduced the number of EX levels necessary to get these boosts active so that you can get the highest score possible. So now you need, if you have a team of I guess it's 6, then you need 4 of them to be at 3 awakening, EX awakening, and then 2 of them to be at least 2, and then you're going to be just fine for doing the max score. So it helps us a little bit to get there if we're not all whales that have 3 EX units just ready to go. So otherwise, we're going to get the same exchange shop that we had before for the Xenostone Shard exchange, and that means that we can be upgrading our Helm of Will into our Crown of Will, but then also buying some sweet Neovision units, etc. So definitely very, very excited for all of this. So here's the new Neovision, the new VC, and this is Flighted Friends, and we can see Skye there, you know, talking to some birds. I guess she likes birds. Cool. I mean, birds are fine. I like birds too. They're definitely like a top tier animal for sure. But this is going to give you some attack at the lower levels, and then the level 10 is FFBE only, and it's going to be a jump attack 100%. Obviously, this is great for Skye, and it has a good attack, you know, 110 attack. It's no Sephiroth Tifa card, but it's definitely a very solid card. Okay, and then there's Fight and Flight, and then these are, I can't remember their names from Season 2, they're like agents working for Hess, but this is just going to be your classic, give you some resistances and stuff, you know, maybe you need this to help cap resistances for a specific trial, maybe you don't, I don't know, but it's not really a huge deal, so that's fine. So one thing that's kind of interesting that makes me think about it right now is that with Skye, I'm just wondering, because there's no LB damage on this, I really am curious about what her LB is going to look like. Her LB might be the way that she's useful outside of Clash of Wills. That's how it was for Louise, that her LB is the way to go, because that's not the morale scaling part, it's the her chaining abilities that were morale scaling. So definitely very curious to see Skye's full kit when it's finally released on Thursday. We also have the intro unit quest for Skye. So she's a nomad from a distant land rumored to have sacrificed her life for mankind. After being flung into the present while sealing away a monster, she left on a journey to find any surviving members of her tribe. So this sounds familiar to when we had Eldrin and he was flung into the future after fighting off a great destroyer. So of course, we won't get any extra story besides that, which is such a bummer because I really want to see more Eldrin story, but I really want to see some Skye story too. I want to know more about her her past and, you know, her battle and stuff, but whatever. We're also going to have the treasure summon if that's something that you want to do. If you do decide to do this, then you're actually going to get a pity ticket, you get the summon coin, you get the NVX 110 ticket, and you're also going to get that 5th anniversary ticket. So they're giving you a lot of stuff here if you want to do this. We're going to have the login bonus, and we will get fragments for both Seacard and for Skye, so that's fine. And then it's maintenance. So I actually have a question for all of you that are watching this video, and the question is, should I pull for Skye? You can see I've got 43,000 lapis up in the corner there, but I actually do have another 20k lapis on my Android account. This is the Amazon account, so I am in good shape. I still have much of the Season 3 story to do. I can get more lapis that way. I'm not, you know, I have Tifa, I have Sephiroth, both of them are at EX1, so I'm hoping to get them to EX2 eventually, but I'm looking pretty good in terms of units. I don't have to be stressing out about getting the, you know, like the upcoming units that are premium, so this could be really fun to have a jumper finally on my account, and I think I might go for it, but let me know what you think in the comments. I know it's too early to tell, we should go look at the kit on Thursday, but if you have any initial reactions or opinions, please let me know. And with that said, it's going to be the end of this video, so I hope it was useful. I hope you enjoyed reading the news with me, and otherwise I'll catch you in the next video.